Thanks very much for reassuring me, Filippo, and allowing me to hopefully share some of our experiences. I was filled with anxiety but excitement before I came here today. Anxiety because of some of the distinguished speakers and academics that were going to be on the panel, but excitement because 12 years ago I sat in a similar audience in South Yorkshire that was looking at the opportunity of £744 million coming into South Yorkshire because it had gained Objective 1 status within the European Union. But there were fears, and those fears were born out of lack of mistrust of the institutions and the way that the existing funding system was set up within South Yorkshire. And I was sitting in the audience like yourselves as a member of a civic economy organisation based in my hometown of Barnsley, which was a former coal mining town. So my name's Sam Tarff. I'm the Chief Executive of Key Fund Investments. We're based in Sheffield in South Yorkshire, but we operate across the north of England. And I just wanted to kind of echo some of the issues, some of the points that were made today. Key Fund is a community development finance institution, so we are a social economy, civic economy sort of organisation. We invest in the social economy. All our returns, all our profits are then reinvested to allow us to sustain our own activities. But we access public money, both at a European and a national, but also a commercial level, to provide support and investment to civic economy organisations which we are part of. We were born out of a number of different issues. One was about adversity, in that our area, the South Yorkshire, had been decimated by the closure of the mines and the pits, the steel industry, and the communities that were being left as a result of that decimation, economic decline. Born out of the opportunity that was seen within the sector for accessing the new European funds that were coming on stream. Mistrust of those institutions that would grab the money for themselves and that would not be distributed to those local communities to identify some of the problems that those areas faced. But also out of self-determination to be part of masters of our own destiny in terms of being accessing and deploying those resources for the sector, by the sector. So a number of partners, a number of pioneers, which were from the sector, from government, created an organisation called the Key Fund to do two things. One was to tackle some of those issues, but secondly, recognising the complexities that European, particularly, funding brought and still brings in terms of getting it down to the grassroots communities, in terms of the administration and technical burden. It felt that there needed to be an organisation that was acting as an honest broker, but also a conduit to get those resources to local community organisations in order for them to tackle some of the problems in their communities. So Key Fund was set up and has grown out of the mission of being an advocate, but also a supporter of civic economy organisations to help them change and develop their own economic business models, but also recognising that you need to have a financial model which is patient, which is supportive, and is more than just about money. At the moment, we are growing and growing quite quickly because our model seems to have been successful. We currently manage European contracts in excess of 48 million euros. We have existing contracts across the north of England of 70 million, but actually we still operate on a relationship-based, face-to-face approach in terms of social investment. We both provide support to organisations that have not yet taken on board social investment, so maybe organisations that have been reliant upon grant support and actually grown up through a culture of dependency in terms of grants, but because of the their desire to trade and to be more economically viable, but also the need, because of the reduction and the increased competition for public resources, requires them to change the way that they operate. We take the approach that actually those organisations need support as well as money, but it needs to be the right kind of support with the right kind of money in order for them to develop and change both their organisational behaviour, but also the cultural behaviour of their organisations and of their governance structures. We are very pleased to see a country like Portugal, and with the introduction of the new Social Innovation Fund, adopting and looking at this kind of approach, because we feel that our success in Yorkshire and across the north of England is something which we would like to share and both share our lessons in terms of the successes, but actually share our failures in terms of how not to achieve some of the aspirations which you obviously have. We very much would like to be part of that conversation with you, but also we'd like to perhaps point out a number of key lessons that we have developed and learned over the last 10 years. And I think for me, there's a number of key lessons that you need to bear in mind. One is the desire to apply a commercial financial model to the social economy is not the answer to all the problems. It is maybe a small part of the solution. It is by far not the whole solution, and requires a resistance, and to be robust in resisting the attraction that those models will bring, because at the moment there seems to be both the political will internationally for putting resources into social investment, but it has to be the right kind of social investment provided at the right level by the right organisations with the right kind of support at the right time. The second thing that I would say that we learn from is, unless you have that ground-up community involvement and empowerment, both in the design and the construction, but as well as the delivery of those programs, it will not work. Top-down access to finance, social investment programs do not work. All they do is they adopt similar behaviours as the commercial sort of financial institutions, and you end up having the situation that we have across Europe, where the markets won't invest, so therefore they need organisations like ourselves to fill the gap that they do not wish to enter into. And the last thing I would say is you need to build partnerships, both of passionate but also informed individuals at all levels, to share their learning and experiences, so that you can actually, one, make effective use of the public resources that you're looking to deploy, but two, actually you can learn from some of the previous experiences and hopefully deliver the impacts greater, faster and more efficiently than others have done in the past. Thank you.